And welcome back. Episode 75.
Yeah.
The old Smoke and Mirrors podcast there. As you can see, we are a duo and not a trio this week.
Yeah. One is down, but not out.
Yeah.
Literally out of the state.
Yeah. It's wild.
How
you going there?
Yeah, this is good, man. How you going?
I'm good. I'm really good.
There's a lot of news that came through this week.
There is, actually.
Fuckloads. A lot of streaming, a lot of new shit, and a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
I was found.
It's getting into that season now.
Yeah. It's like ramping up for the summer, sort of like keep you like either on the couch or out to the cinema type vibes.
Yeah, supposedly it's like really warm in New York right now. They went from like, snow to just warm.
Yeah, that'll be wild.
Yeah. I love it.
What I wanted to start off with, and I don't think we do it enough on this show, is some shout outs. So, Katie from For Your Reference and NOT. So they said, love the way the fellas discussed the Pixar Disney queer representation in their episode this week. So that was last week's episode 74. It was nice to get a glimpse of their music pod spin-off. Also, I almost levitated at the tease of pulling up religion. Maybe next week. And then Katie shared our short little clip that Weave did, because Weave does some crazy editing on this side. And she said, I need at least 6 podcast episodes and 3 diss tracks on this beef.
I'm going to get 50 with it.
This is 50. And then Dustin from Sandman Stories Presents also recommended us twice to people asking for the dreaded podcast recommendations, which is wild. So thanks, guys. Shout out to you. Listen to those shows if you haven't already. They're dope. All right. Kicking it off with streaming news there.
So the Disney, not Disney, the Warner and Discovery deal. That's been in the news this week. So Discovery came out and said, look, don't expect to see all of our stuff on HBO Max just yet.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few months or years, really, considering all the content that Discovery actually has, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were talking about how the deal for them, which is a $43 million deal, sort of saves them $3 billion a year.
Yep.
Just in marketing and, the actual technology of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they actually said the main thrust is going to be harmonizing the technology platforms, which is it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Pause
on both those guys.
Yeah, man.
You got to have harmony when you thrust it out.
But yeah, so that deal, it's done. It's in the can. We just got to wait now.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what Discovery will do once they do sort of get their tentacles into Warner.
Well, I think they're trying to just create that one-stop shop. But $6 billion to actually transition is crazy.
Well, that's why everyone doesn't do a streaming service, right? That's why Sony doesn't have theirs. They're like, fuck it. Netflix? Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because then they get paid that money as opposed to paying out. But then that long-term benefits of all those subscribers, yeah. So, moving on, we talked about Obi-Wan last week. And it appeared like we talked about possibly Darth Maul appearing in the show.
Yep.
So we've heard news that Darth Maul, the character, was replaced by Darth Vader. So Deborah Chow, who is directing all the episodes and kind of shepherding this show, she was talking to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and then she went, well, I want to have Darth Maul. Ray Park got prepping and everything. Apparently there's stunt footage of him basically getting the fights ready for the show. And then Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau was like, think bigger. You don't have to be limited to the smaller scope. So they then went and cut all of Darth Maul scenes.
Did they cut, or you reckon they just replaced?
They probably replaced. But in terms of like the emotional highs of the Obi-Wan character, like Vader would be the person that would most elicit a response.
Mm-hmm.
But then if it doesn't serve the story and they just did it
Just to have Vader
in there, it's sort of So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we got like, is it this week?
May 25th.
May 25th. So next month. We'll see how this pans out. I still think that Maul is going to show up maybe at the end of the season.
Yeah.
To set up the new baddie for the next season.
They did say, we've got a lot more story to tell.
Exactly. This is lying. But yeah, I can't wait for that, actually. Obi-Wan's climbing to the top of my list.
Yeah. Because Moon Knight's dropping in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Next week, or this week, when people are listening, Halo's happening.
23rd?
24th.
23rd in the US.
Is it? Oh, okay. The time delay. Very good.
There's dab 12 hours.
And then Moon Knight the week after.
Fuck yeah. It's going to be good. It's a good week. I can't wait for Halo, actually. Like, all the reviews I've been seeing have been, like, really, really good for that first episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just scared of what they're doing. Because it's like, it's not really the Halo that we know and love from the games.
No, it has to be something different.
I know.
If you just went out and made the actual Halo, you know how many people would complain? What's happening here? What's going on here? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
What is this about? They'd have no idea. And you'd have to start all the way back when Chief wasn't even a chief yet.
But that's what they're doing. They take you through the fall of Reach.
Yeah.
In this show.
But the what's his face, it's mostly just with the Chief anyway, so you're not going to see some of that Reach stuff, which is some of the best stuff that they have. Yeah.
We'll see.
Now, on to Netflix. So, much like everybody else, I mean, I am the main subscriber of Netflix.
Yeah.
And everybody else in my family uses my login.
Yeah.
I do pay for a fucking family account, though, Netflix, and don't fuck me over. So Netflix currently in Chile and Peru and Costa Rica is they're trying out the whole thing where only one person can log in. Right, so it's only one person in the house that can log in. That means that it sounds like if you're on a different IP address from the main account, you're shit out of luck. You won't be able to log in to that other person's Netflix account. Now, Netflix did say that they're offering separate accounts where you can transfer over your watch data and all that sort of stuff under the main account for an extra $2 to $3 per account. I don't know how this is going to fly, B.
Well, I think people are going to get disappointed, but Netflix has just been fucked with with people doing that, like using other people's logins or just like what's supposed to be everyone in the house gets their own account. Yeah, everyone across the country gets their own account.
Yeah, they were saying that they have 222 million subscribers, but they're seeing it sort of slow down now.
Yeah.
So they're
guessing everyone's getting hip, eh?
Yeah.
And just like increasing their membership from a single membership to a family membership.
Yeah.
So it only counts as one subscription.
That's right.
Whereas if they do this and they find that it's from a different IP address, they can increase that. Can you imagine that times like 50 million people times 3?
Or just the people paying for the family account. Just being like, okay, well, I'm paying, what, $12.95 a month now.
Yeah.
I'll up it by, what, $3, $4? Just that $3, $4 times $222 million. Come on now.
Yeah. That's big money.
It's definitely big money.
Kind of a smart move.
It is. But still, what the hell's going to happen then?
People got to make a choice. Is the content on Netflix enough to keep you there? Or do you just go, fuck it, Netflix? I'm going to close my account, or are they going to be those people who got a Wesley Snipes, New Jack City?
Badly.
They brother just like, got to shut that account down, B.
But it's weird because if this works, you realize it's going to go over to Disney. It's going to go over to HBO.
Yeah.
It's going to go over to Hulu. It's going to go over to everywhere now.
Yeah.
Because currently we can do that with Disney Plus as well now.
Yeah. So like there's I reckon the other area of opportunity is to go, well, how's about you get an account where it's like across the country account.
Yeah.
And that'll be like an extra $3. So either way, you're going to have to pay more.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to pay.
Well, I mean, the other option that you have, guys, is you go and get yourself a VPN and pay the $3 there instead of paying the $3 to Netflix. Like, what you gonna do? What you want to do?
You live off the grid.
That's the way that we get HBO Max in Australia. Like, yeah, get yourself a nice little VPN there.
Yeah, add a burner.
Yeah, literally a burner, because you need you need an overseas Apple address and all that other stuff to get it done. Yeah. So you are kind of like, you're stealing.
All right. So there's a new film that's coming out from New Line, which is like the horror fucking basically capital.
It is,
I think, offshoot of Warner and HBO Max. So this is dropping on streaming. They don't know when, but it's got a fucking impressive cast. So we got Brian Cox from Succession. We got Edie Falco from Sopranos royalty, Lisa Kudrow from Friends, and Dean Norris. I don't know if there's any relation to Chuck
Norris.
Yeah, I don't know, but if
I know that name.
I know the name, and if I see the face, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be. I know that guy.
Yeah.
So they've been cast in this ensemble poltergeist comedy, which you don't really see those two genres come together.
Nah.
Unless it's a scary movie.
That's right.
Called The Parenting. So what this one's about is there's this gay couple, right? And then they go to like this cabin or this house, this holiday house. They invite their parents because they're going to have a coming out party. And they're basically going to tell their parents that, hey, I'm gay, I'm in a relationship. Then all this, like this fucking evil entity presents itself in the middle of all this kind of going down. But Cox just has like the perfect timing. Like he can do comedy.
He can do comedy.
And he can go real fucking dark as well. And I think that's why he kind of like Edie Falco looks like she's going to be like the straight-laced kind of wife. But then Lisa Kudrow is going to be that person that's like...
She's like the sister that's just a little bit airy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they switch it.
Yeah. Which would be cool. I'd like to see Lisa Kudrow actually do something serious.
Yeah. That'd be cool, actually.
Because everything that she does is like comedy.
Yeah.
She's riding that Friends wave.
Yeah, even in Analyze This, it's she's like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's the comedic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, man. Dropping on streaming.
Fucking oath. I always thought that Blumhouse should have been over there.
At Warner? Yeah.
Specifically New Line, not Warner. Specifically New Line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than where they're at with Universal. They could have been early in Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Which, like...
I think they're doing something with them, though.
Are they?
Yeah.
That'd make sense. Like, why fuck around?
Well, because of the Universal Warner deal, they kind of are there, but not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. It just, for me, that just made sense. There's so many properties there. You've got everyone there now. You've got Ash, you've got Pinhead, you've got everyone there.
Yeah. Yeah. That stable of horror characters is fire.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Doug Mann is setting up his new film, Red Notice, not to be confused with the other Red Notice that we got this year with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. So this one is a financial caper, right? And it's like a crime thriller.
Yeah.
And it's based on this book. I can't remember who wrote the book, but it's an adaptation of this book.
It's like Roger Bowden or something.
Yeah. So he was like, it is. Yeah, he was a real life. It's about his real life story about his fight against the Russian government. So I mean, considering the world events and everything, this makes sense to make this movie right now. So he's a hedge fund manager. Who made all of his money in Moscow. And this is after the fall of the Soviet Union. So we get the USSR and everything there. And him and his team need to, battle and expose this kleptomaniac and all these oligarchs and all this stuff. Yeah.
And like just raging against the Putin regime.
Oh God!
So it's really timely, eh?
Yeah.
Like the way that they kind of pick shows, because I think this is an 8-part
series,
limited series, eh?
Yeah.
The way that they pick these shows in Hollywood or these movies and stuff is always, all right, it's happening in the moment. By the time that we get it out, it's going to be like a sort of look back kind of piece.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. The way Doug Liman shoots, fucking hell. You know that this
it's all
guy...
over the shop, man.
Yeah. He's just going to shoot, and then they're going to piece it together in post, and it's not going to be the story.
Yeah, I don't get how he can do that. Someone needs to put the reins on that.
I think they try. But there's a lot of times where his shit just ends up really good. Like Edge of Tomorrow wasn't supposed to be as good as it turned out to be.
Shouldn't have been as good as it turned out to be.
With all the shit that kind of went down.
Yeah.
I can't believe Cruise didn't jump in there like he did it in The Mummy.
I think because Cruise just believes in Lyman. So he understood it.
Like when it's big budget like that, I think he kind of goes off the rails.
Yeah.
But then they make something smaller, like American Made. And they were able to push that out in a year.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that story could be told in a year. Like, you could shoot that story in a year. You could just go to, like, a location that sort of looks like, look like not Costa Rica. Look like Colombia and looks like the US, which there's a lot of places that do look like that, and just shoot the whole film there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this, though. Like, I didn't watch the last Lyman movie.
Chaos Walking?
Chaos Walking.
Neither did I. I seen it on Hulu there, and I was like, I'm not prioritizing that.
Nah.
There's so much shit to, like, watch. Like, I'm still catching up on shows from 2017. I haven't even watched The Wire yet.
So that's why I know. That's why the We Own the City didn't just...
Oh, that hit.
Yeah.
That trailer. As soon as I seen Bertha,
that's true.
Jeymes Samuel, coming off The Harder They Fall, is moving into an area I didn't think he'd kind of jump into. So he's making 2 Boom Comics properties, and he's kind of converging them into the one story.
Yeah.
And it seems like the stories that he's going to tell, it seems like he can, like the synergy between the two.
Yeah.
So the first story is called Irredeemable. So that's like this hero that has this fall from grace, and he starts losing his mind and becomes like the biggest villain.
Yeah.
So there's like that character arc there for him, which is interesting. I've seen it before. Invincible kind of feels like this.
Star
kind of
Wars.
feels like Invincible.
Star Wars
as well. Yeah. Like that's like the character archetype for a lot of fallen heroes. Then we're gonna get Incorruptible, which is this villain that in the rise and fall of this hero that turns to a villain, he then starts to do things to battle him and then becomes a hero.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the bell curve, the reverse bell curve of these 2 different heroes.
Very cool, actually.
2 different characters.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Jeymes Samuel's style, because
especially for a superhero film. Yeah.
Because the energy that he brought in The Harder They Fall, like while it's kind of in that Western sort of universe, I think could be applied to a lot of different genres. And I'm interested because he's also musically inclined and he's a producer and like, you know, he's a really talented fucking guy.
Seal's brother.
Yeah. Get the fuck in the booth.
Oh, shit. Get the fuck in the booth. Shout out to Quali.
Yeah, man. I'm reading that book. It's
Yeah.
fire. So, yeah, I'd like to see the music that he's going to sort of put together as well. That should be fire too. Because he had like a reggae kind of hip hop vibe for The Harder They Fall.
It's beautiful. The music in there is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I wouldn't
suited it.
think. Yeah, I wouldn't think that hip hop / bloody. You know, it's basically ska hip hop.
Yeah.
When you think about it, would fit, but it fits so well.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see if what's his face signs on to this.
Idris?
Not Idris. The what's his face? The other
Majors? Yeah. That'll be fire.
If we can get a Majors versus like Michael B, which there's going to be in Creed 2. Like if they can do that,
Yeah. It's just funny because he's also playing Kang. So he's got that villain kind of like thread going. He's also the villain in Creed 2.
But I want to see it switched. I want to see Michael B. Jordan as a villain.
Like that wasn't Killmonger.
That wasn't Killmonger.
Yeah.
Being a Boom comic as well, I'm pretty sure that this will be it's harder edged than
Like a Marvel.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So there'll be swearing and violence and all that sort of stuff. I can't wait for this actually.
This will be good. Hopefully COVID doesn't fuck them over.
Hopefully. Either that or they need to come down here and just shoot.
Yeah. Or Canada.
Or NZ.
Yeah.
NZ would be nice actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many movies I shot here. Like I think last year. So that Carol and the Tiger King or whatever it is show, that was shot here.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So everyone was here
That's
to
crazy.
shoot that movie.
Yeah.
Because we had, well, it's weird, but we had less restrictions and more restrictions at the exact same time. So yeah.
Fuck.
So they shot that. They shot most of that here. I think they just did pickups in what's his face in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone was here.
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, all of them. Regina King was here. Regina King?
Is Regina King in that show?
I think so.
Fuck.
Yeah. She was here and everything. It's cool.
Fuck.
Actually, the next star should actually be in that Jeymes Samuel's movie.
That'd be fire.
That'd be cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yahya Abdul is going to star in this movie called The Scent of Burnt Flowers.
Yeah, it's a show at FX.
That's a show.
Yeah.
Sorry. FX is doing some good things, man.
Yeah, man. I was just kind of finding, like, retroactively, FX has been the shit.
FX back in the day was.
But, like, you know how we always had that assumption that if it's FX, there's going to be violence, there's going to be semi-nudity, but they're holding back on that swearing.
Yeah.
Whereas HBO is the truth.
It was like the battle between HBO and Showtime.
Yeah. But
and FX was like that little cousin that was like just coming in there.
But then I'm finding shows like What We Do in the Shadows. Atlanta was on FX.
Was on
and they
FX,
swear on that.
A lot.
And Taboo. They even dropping C-bombs in Taboo.
Well, you have to. It's the time.
Yeah.
At the time. But yeah, so this the Scent of Burnt Flowers. It's about this this couple that it's set in the 1960s. This couple is seeking asylum in Ghana over what's going on in the US, obviously, with all the racism and all that sort of stuff that's going on, Jim Crow era, all that sort of stuff. And they meet up with like this musician called Kwasi. Who's being played by what's his face, Yaya, and he teaches them how to preserve their freedom and be free basically in Ghana. Yeah.
They said this is like told through a magical realist lens.
So I don't know if that means that it's sci-fi or it's just going to be extremely real.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what? Like where is it so over the top that it's sci-fi or like magic or like fairy tale, or is it like surreal?
Yeah.
Where it's almost like what dreams may come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ghana it would feel like that. If you were coming from 1960s US into Ghana,
yeah,
mate, it'd literally feel like a fairy tale where all your leaders are black. Everything is beautiful and green and everything. It's paradise, essentially.
So I was reading. So I'm reading Kwali's book right now. Right. So his parents were part of the pro-black movement back in the 60s, 70s, and part of that was going back and not going back, but going to Africa.
Yep.
And kind of exploring their roots and getting closer to that aspect of their heritage. And it was something that Malcolm X set up as well.
Yeah.
So then you had like the what's it called? The Islam. What's it called?
Mecca.
No. You know how Farrakhan.
Yep.
So he had
the
Nation of Islam, and then you had the Nation of Five Percenters. That was a branch off.
There's the offshoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Of that, which didn't so much focus on Islamic religion, but more the African culture.
Yep.
And that's what Malcolm X is doing in Ali. He's got
he's setting up the 5%ers.
Well, he's going back. He's got Maya Angelou in there as well. Remember, he meets up, and then Ali's like, "You shouldn't have." Yeah,
you shouldn't have quarreled with the Honorable Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see that depicted, though, like because I haven't seen too much of that, especially like Black heritage. Like we see a little bit of like I've only just found out about the Black Wall Street.
Yep.
Like when we see it in Watchmen, and we see it in Lovecraft Country.
Yep.
So like actually depicting that. Be fire.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's crazy because there's so many rappers that grew up as 5%ers.
Yeah.
So like anyone from most of the rappers from New York, they got that. They got taught all that. Fat Joe knows about all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wu-Tang is a big thing for Wu-Tang. That's where RZA gets his name. From the 5% teachings. Yeah. It's right. It's the RZA and the Jizza. It actually means something.
And just in terms, I swear, Katie's like getting a hip hop fucking podcast. But they say it in that Nas song, "Life's a Bitch."
Yeah.
What's his face says it? The young cat that's on the track with Nas. In the hood was 5%ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's AZ. That's his name.
AZ, that's the one.
Yeah. It's my man's.
And that's it for streaming news.
That's it. It's a lot of streaming news this week, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was big.
Pause.
All right, heading into film news. So, the Puss in Boots cast has been revealed. So I didn't know anything about this, but all of a sudden...
the second or third Puss in Boots movie?
This is the second one.
Mate.
But there was a Puss in Boots Choose Your Own Adventure series on Netflix that dropped.
Right.
You got to like use the control like Bandersnatch, like Puss in Boots Bandersnatch. Pause. So on top of Antonio Banderas, pause, and Salma Hayek, Penalt, strict that last name from the record.
She just goes by Hayek.
Not in this like article.
Yeah, righto.
It's Penalt.
Okay.
It killed me.
Pinot? Her husband's French.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's the car company. What's that?
Renault.
Yeah. So I just said Penalt.
It's Renault, really.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Correct me if I'm wrong, people out there. Let me know. So they're going to be in the movie, right? But then we got the familiar from What We Do in the Shadows, the series, Harvey Guillen. Mm-hmm. But we've also got Florence Pugh, we've got Olivia Colman, Wagner Moura, Ray Winstone, John Mulaney, Divine Joy Randolph, and Anthony Mendez and Samson Kayo. So pretty solid voice cast in there.
Is Ray Winstone the bad guy? Or?
I don't know.
He sounds like he should be.
But this movie is pretty, like, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The synopsis for it, because he's killed himself 8 times.
Yeah.
So it's his last life.
Yeah.
And it's almost like his last mission.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Logan of anime.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Puss dies?
Oh, man.
Mate. I was going to go on there then.
That'd be the darkest animated movie ever.
I know.
If he dies at the end, or like if he rides off, like I'm fine, I'm alright. As the Shane.
The
ending.
Shane?
Yeah. And kids, like later on when they realize.
Yeah.
My heart.
That's a misconception. Shane's actually dead.
No, you see him ride off in the sun.
Yeah, you see him ride off in the sunset, but it's a... I love that movie.
Yeah, Negotiator. Negotiator doesn't get enough love.
No, it doesn't.
Shout out if anyone's seen The Negotiator. That's the shit.
Yeah. It's one of the few roles where Samuel is like just him.
What do you mean?
Like he's top billing.
Yeah.
Or at least back then it was.
Yeah. Like it was him and Spacey. But Spacey wasn't as big in the role. Like it stuck with Samuel's character most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Fire. It's F. Gary Gray as well.
That's why it's so far.
Double fire.
Yeah. All right, so Scott Derrickson. Scott Derrickson is coming back. Finally. Well, not finally, because they haven't released that fucking Black Mask or whatever.
Because I haven't written it yet.
You mothers. I hate that. I have to wait for that, and it's supposed to be the best movie ever.
Next month. April. That's
too long. It should have been out in January already.
It was scheduled for Feb.
Fucking hell.
They pushed it back.
But yeah, so he's starting up his new movie. It's over at Skydance. He's calling it The Gorge. Pause.
Right. Just gets me engorged.
Yeah. So the story is being kept under wraps.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's been described as a high action, genre bending love story. Which is different. Different for the old Derrickson.
Yeah.
I wonder if he still casts Ethan Hawke in here.
That'd be kind of fire.
Yeah. It'd be cool, actually.
Ethan Hawke can do both those roles. Like he can do the hard out action, but he can also do the love story as well.
Yeah. So it's going to be 2 young people, obviously not Hawke, who, despite the corrupt and lethal world they operate in, find a soulmate in each other during a dangerous assignment. So I don't know, maybe it sounds very Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
But just to throw back to last week's episode, it sounds like that story that you were saying.
Yeah.
Because they don't say, like, a young man, a young woman.
No.
It's just 2 people.
It should just be two people.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Be a good flip on, like, that is the genre-bending genre that he's, like, genreing in here.
Why couldn't we have 2 male or 2 female assassins that fall in love?
Yeah. I mean...
It's a classic story, but still... Yeah. Let's get real people.
It's 2022. Wake up.
God damn it. Yeah, so Zach Dean wrote it. And it was supposedly at the top of the blacklist for 2020. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. So,
Francis Lawrence is going to direct Stalag X.
This sounds cool, this movie.
This sounds really cool. So, it's about this reclusive human, but he's on this alien fucking, like, in this alien POW camp. So he's on a distant, harsh planet, which kind of gave me Riddick vibes. Chronicles of Riddick, Part 2, if you not initiated, but we are initiated. So he also believes his mind is the key to ending this war that he's caught up in, and that all like these planets are caught up in, and then he kind of has to go through all these like torturous tests and interrogation methods that the aliens have for him.
Fuck yeah.
So I don't know if it's more like sort of dramatic but set within a sci-fi setting, or if they're going to go like full, it's a big action tentpole sort of release.
I'm guessing it's the latter. It's not going to be like a full-on bloody action film.
Yeah.
But there will be action elements in there. Knowing Francis Lawrence, like,
Yeah.
that's the bag that he sort of plays in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like Francis Lawrence because in the midst of all the bullshit, he does focus in on the core characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, it could be something special. Man.
Yeah.
Like it also gave me Enemy Mine kind of vibes.
Yeah. Enemy Mine, Escape from Absalom.
Yeah.
Like all that sort of stuff. Because he is going to eventually escape from that prison.
Yeah.
You can't just be in there just getting drilled by fucking aliens all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drilled by aliens all day. All right.
That's it.
That's it for...
That's it. It's all of our film news.
It's quite short compared to the old streaming there.
Well, it would be more streaming news now.
Yeah. I think because they're ramping up and you'd see like a lot of the release dates for all the stuff that's coming out is during April, is during May, is into June, just to keep people on the couch and not get them out there and see the movies at the cinema.
I thought that Netflix was having like, you know, a movie a week or whatever it is from the start of Adam Project. I thought that was the thing. I checked Netflix the other day. It was fuck all there.
They got Windfall. That was the latest thing that dropped.
And that show. The fake vegans, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But then on Amazon, you had Deep Water.
Deep Water.
Deep Water dropped.
Yeah.
And then, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is waiting for Moon Knight and...
Yeah. But they just dropped Turning Red. Just big.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a bit.
Couple of weeks.
All right. So, it's time to fan the hammer, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
All facts, no feelings.
That's right. All right, so Umbrella Academy drops on June 22nd. Nice. Amazon and MGM deal has now been finalized. The Batman is going to drop on April 19th on HBO Max. The Resident Evil series is going to drop just after that on July 14th, the same day as Cameron Poe's daughter in Con Air. Woman in the Window. The studio really fucked with this one.
Studio fucked me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Barry Jenkins, Issa Lopez are they're in talks to develop a new True Detective series called True Detective Night Country. It's quite interesting. Christopher Lloyd is joining The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Damon Lindelof there's rumors swirling around that he might do a Star Wars film next. It's interesting. Denis Villeneuve has been talking about Dune Part 2 and how it's going to have a larger amount of IMAX scenes than the first one. Hopefully put it on the fucking Blu-ray, mate. 3,000 Years of Longing is going to make its debut at Cannes this year, which is the George Miller film. Sydney Sweeney is joining the Madame Web film. Judd Apatow is developing This Is 50. We've had some new Blue Beetle casting as well. So Adriana Barraza. George Lopez is going to be in there. Elpidia Carrillo, who is in Predator. And Damien Alcazar.
Anna.
Yeah. Courtney Cox is going to join Scream 6. The due date is March 31st, 2023. And the Doctor Strange sequel. So they're saying that they're aiming high with this one.
Yeah.
And supposedly there's going to be a whole lot of Raimi stuff. Yeah.
I like that. They're aiming for it to be bigger than Spidey.
It's not going to be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's what I think the positioning of Strange was all about. Was to create that excitement for it.
Create that buzz for Strange.
Because now you got to know how it, like, you know, the multiverse kind of ends up.
And how they fix it. And who comes through the portals.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, supposedly there's also going to be 3 Doctor Strangers in the movie as well. So we'll see how that pans out too. Yeah. And that's it.
That's it for fanning the hammer. Very good.
Cool. Now we move on to our movie trailers this week. So we got a lot of movie trailers this week. So we got our first Miss Marvel trailer, which looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Really fun. The Puss in Boots trailer, The Last Wish. We got a trailer for The Watcher, Memory. Pentaveret, which, you know, did come out on Thursday.
Yep.
As per Mike Myers' email. We got a trailer for Gaslit. That's the one with
Julia
Roberts and Sean Penn.
Yeah.
As well in there. Candy. What was this one?
This one was the Jessica Biel one where she murders her best friend with an axe.
Yes. Yeah. I do remember this one.
Yeah.
And so my trailer pick for the week that we got was a trailer for We Own the City, which is dropping April 25th.
Yeah.
So this is the story, the true story of this group of basically special tactical unit in Boston.
Ah, they kept it in Boston.
Yeah. It is. This one happened in Boston. Yeah. In Boston that, you know, ended up basically just robbing drug dealers, right? And keeping the money.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So they, much like, you know, the 7-5 with Michael O'Dowd over in New York, which is in theory just 3 states away.
Yeah.
They were providing protection and all that sort of stuff to drug dealers and robbing drug dealers and, you know, just being all and out corrupt cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like, as well as like everyone looks like they're in on it.
Yeah.
But there's some, like, they're not really all that all right with it.
No, it looks like they do it just because they have to. That arrangement keeps the peace.
Yeah.
On the streets.
Yeah.
So you step out of line, I'm going to tax you. And essentially.
There's yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a certain lifestyle that they're all used to.
Yep.
John Bernthal just looks like he's loving it.
Bernthal's having fun. So this comes from the guys that did The Wire.
Yeah. As
well. So having it set in Boston and seeing so many of the guys from The Wire in the trailer.
Yeah.
We got Marlo in there. We got the major that's in there. Like everyone, like most of the players from The Wire are in this show. But then it's just Bernthal. Yeah. And Bernthal's just in there looking sleazy. He's got like a little bit of blonde in his hair. His hair's a bit longer. He's got dirty facial hair. Like he looks like he was just eating us up. Pause. Like he looks like he's just having so much fun.
Rick Ross eating it.
Yeah. Supposedly the guy from the other guy, I think Turk from the Wire is going to be in here as well. You know the guy from what's his face? The white guy from Miami Vice with the bald head. It sounds like he's from Boston.
No.
He's at the start. He's the one that goes into the room with the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Dominic something his name is. Yeah, he's in here as well. But yeah, man, just because they got those writers and the producers from The Wire, I'm like in.
Yeah.
Like, this is all I need this show.
This looks fire.
Oh, man.
It does look good. My trailer choice for this week was Tokyo Vice. It's our first look. So this is the Michael Mann, produced and directed, I think written and developed.
I think he did everything on this one except act.
Let me show you how it's done, Ansel. So this is about this reporter, and he's trying to make it as a reporter in Japan. Yeah. Which is really hard because he's kind of like a fish out of water. And then he asks and tries to recruit this detective to bring him through the Japanese underworld. And he's making a lot of connections that get him really close and in with the Yakuza. The problem is that the closer he gets, the more he's sort of like he's on the hook, basically.
Oh, yeah. He's losing himself.
Yeah. And he's straddling the line between, like, you know, trying to just be a reporter and, like, being a fixture in the underworld.
Yeah.
Like, his run-ins with the Yakuza and, like, it looks pretty, like, intense.
It would be.
Because then he's at that point where he's like, can I write about this? The guy's like, you can, but then I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit. Okay, well, why am I here then?
Exactly.
Because he wants to be there. He's fucking interested and drawn into it. It looks really good. Fuck, it looks beautiful.
The money's on the screen there, man.
Yeah.
But Mann always does that. But for me, it was weird seeing this shot normally. Whereas Mann likes to use like that, it almost like documentary style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frame rates pumped up. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird when you look back at Ali, a lot of it was shot with film.
Yeah.
But there's so much of it also shot with those HD cams. Like, he was one of the first out with HD cams.
Him and Rodriguez.
And and Lucas, yeah.
And Lucas, yeah.
So, man, I'm excited for it. Like, it looks solid. Ken Watanabe as well.
That's my guy, man. You can't like, just because of that, just because he's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you hear that voice and the cadence in which he speaks, like, English.
Because he speaks English like Japanese.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. He just brings that, like, that quiet, calm intensity to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ansel Elgort's just being, like, you know, the guy that has to react.
Yeah. He's got a funny haircut in this.
I was gonna say,
like, is Mann's balding or like what's
he's
going
got
on?
A real high hairline.
Like the hairline starts up here.
They just put the wig on real like
real fucked.
Real ugly wig job on this one.
Oh man,
because usually he has his hair forward.
Yeah,
like that. But this like really exposed it.
Yeah. Mann put him on blast
badly.
Poor bastard.
Exposed it.
I know.
Just brush that fucking hair back.
I know. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Thank you very much. Fuck you.
Yeah. That was the first thing I noticed. Like, what is happening with Mann's hair? Especially when the Yakuza's there and they got, like, you know, mad haircuts.
Yeah.
Fresh fades and everything.
Yeah,
like,
they
what
look
the fuck's
fire.
going on here, man?
Elgort was like coming to set every day, like. I am not wearing that fucking wig.
Oh man, this looks so good though, man. And I think they actually shot in Japan.
Yeah, they did. Because remember they had to shut down because of the pandemic. So that's why this show's taken a bit longer to come out, but you can see the quality is on the screen.
Yeah.
For both those shows, I think. So Tokyo Vice is dropping April 7th, so we won't have to wait long for it.
Yeah. So we get to watch a few of these episodes and then we own the city. We built this city.
It just played in my as soon as I see the title. But yeah, that's movie trailers for this week.
Yeah.
Very good.
Going to break in to our entertainment news.
Yep.
All right. So a bit of bad news this week first. Right. So William Hurt has passed away.
Yeah.
He was 71 years old. Supposedly died from prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hurt is honestly best known for Kiss of the Spider Woman, Children of a Lesser God, broadcast news. Later on, coming back after taking a sabbatical, we saw him in A History of Violence, and then we kind of saw him branch out and do his Marvel thing and come back as Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
So it was always funny to me that, you know, he did lose all that weight.
Yeah.
In What was it? In
Civil War?
in Civil War,
Yeah.
right? So we had seen him previously, I think, in Ultron. I think he's got a cameo or something. Or one of the
Hulk.
In Hulk, yeah.
And then he comes back.
And then he comes back, and he just looked really, really thin. And they tried to explain that it was because of the
stroke.
Yeah, he had a stroke playing golf and everything. But this was almost it almost feels like Chadwick.
Yeah.
Where we had just seen him losing all this weight.
Yeah.
And we expected because it was for a movie, but no. So yeah, man. I mean, this is Hollywood royalty, really. Yeah. I mean, this is his dad was an unbelievable actor as well. Yeah.
So he actually got diagnosed in 2018 with prostate cancer, but by 2022, 4 years later, it had spread throughout his whole body.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So he knew in 2018 it was terminal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's sad because as soon as he passed, there were so many stories that came out. There was one thread that I read on Twitter. This chick said she was part of this theater company, and they were putting on this this show, and like everyone was loving it. Like the staff were loving it, but the audience basically they didn't relate to it, and they didn't stick with it. So the reviews that went out were bad, right? And then the numbers just kept dwindling down. At some point, they were just like, look, don't come tonight. Come tomorrow. There's a lot more people coming because there's no way we're going to put on a show for 2 people.
Yeah.
William Hurt at the time was asking for, like, he wanted to get back to his theater roots, and he was asked by the company to come watch their show. When he rocked up, he was the only person in the crowd. And they said, well, we can't turn William Hurt away. Let's just do the show. They did the show. By the end of it, William Hurt was like a mess. He was crying and everything. He basically stood up, applauded, and spent the whole night. They didn't go out to any bars or anything like that. They sat on the stage floor and talked shop till like 3, 4 in the morning.
Jesus.
He said, like, that just got his chemicals going. He loved every second of it. And he sat there not as like this big Oscar-winning actor, but by someone that just loves the craft. At the end of the night, there was one guy who was driving, and he only had a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So he had this tray in the back, a ute in Australia.
Yeah.
And William Hurt sat in the back with all the other actors that this guy was giving the lift, and just enjoying the experience.
Yeah.
And it was like freezing cold Chicago weather.
God.
He was just such a force, I think, in cinema. I always remember a role in A History of Violence, right?
Yeah.
So he said, I need to like perfect my Chicago accent because I always remember the behind the scenes. He said the accent that they have has a certain sound on the schwang index, which is like the accent sort of sound that they have. And he worked with a dialogue coach to get that perfect so that when he was on, he could do like a fucking like Chicago accent. And you hear it.
You do.
In that movie, like when he shows up and he's only in there for like 10 minutes?
If that.
It's the smallest cameo. But he has such an impact because he just portrays that, like, he's in the same league as Ed Harris and those actors and fucking nails it.
Killed it. Absolutely. That was the first time I actually heard Brohim like just out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wonder why. It must be a Chicago thing. But yeah.
And he just nailed that role. The first time I remember him, I watched Children of a Lesser God for school, but it was Altered States that really kind of like, I was like, holy shit, William Hurt? Like, this motherfucker's wild.
Yeah, it's
because
his first role, man.
Yeah, like, and he could bring this gentle kind of like he just commanded the screen, but then he could bring the intensity as well.
Yeah,
which that performance reminded me of The Fly.
yeah,
Sad day, man.
yeah.
Very, very sad because he's a legend, definitely a legend. So yeah, rest in peace, William Hurt. Our condolences to your family, friends, and fans out there. Yeah, and just thank you for the contribution to cinema. So our last piece of news for the week: Jared Leto is claiming that superhero movies and Marvel movies in particular have kept cinema alive during the pandemic. So I agree that Marvel movies have kept theaters afloat.
Yeah.
During, and like I'm not against Marvel movies being called like cinema at all, but like I think with his comments, he was basically saying, because he said I'm a big cinema enthusiast and I'm a bit of a cinema snob, but I think he was talking more about the theaters. I don't think he was talking about like actual cinema, because during this time we also got these smaller movies that came out, whether it be like made in America or like, you know, European, internationally, anywhere.
So just if we're gonna go off awards and whatnot, it's not Marvel that kept cinema alive the last couple of years. It's a streaming service.
Yeah.
A streaming service called Netflix. Netflix has had, I think, the last 2-3 years all of their films have won the Best Picture.
Yeah, and they've dominated.
Yeah. That's what's keeping cinema alive.
Ever since Ricky Gervais's monologue at the Golden Globes that one year.
Yeah.
And that was like, what, 3-4 years
2018.
ago? Yeah. He came out and said, Netflix, you win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Led nominations. There's such a varied amount of content on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny when you talk about keeping cinema alive, that money is the biggest indicator of that.
Yeah.
When like it's really not.
It's not money or awards or anything. It's none of that stuff. It's honestly about how it makes you feel at the end of the day.
Yeah. And the quality of it.
I'll admit some of those Marvel movies or something like that, it doesn't make me feel anything.
Yeah.
I can see the spectacle.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge the spectacle. I know how much work it takes to that goes into making something like that. It doesn't make me feel anything.
Yeah.
Whereas I can watch something. What did I watch recently? I can watch something like what's his face? The Outlaw Josie Wells.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I mean, the start of that movie is you get to see them kill his wife and child. And it makes me feel something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think, weirdly, that cinema is really being kept alive by some of the shows that we watch. Like, I watched Scenes from a Marriage.
Yep.
Scenes of a Marriage. It's one of them.
Yeah.
But that in there was like these two raw performances from Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain that completely owned. It was beautiful to watch. And content that in my stage of life, like I like really related to that.
Yeah.
And then like more recently, I watched Peacemaker. And they did so much more emotionally and had a real trajectory and character journey.
Yeah.
than something that I've seen in a Marvel movie as of late.
Yeah.
Whether that be Shang-Chi or Eternals.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. It brought a lot.
Yeah.
It did a lot in 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only half an hour episodes. So if you watched all of it, it might be shorter than Eternals or No Way Home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, cinema is such a wide context of different things, and it's different to anyone.
Do you think they include TV in cinema now? They don't, eh? There's still that separation.
No.
Even though Giancarlo Esposito had the best performance
Yeah.
of all those years that he was Gus
Yeah.
and just ate up the screen.
Mm.
They still don't consider that cinema.
I think it depends who you're talking to. Like
Yeah.
Paul Schrader might tell you something very different to what Martin Scorsese.
Mm.
But I think just in cinema, we look at these people as the ones that tell us what's cinema and what's not.
Mm.
Whereas individually, we don't sort of break down to us what cinema is.
Mm.
So we might say, shows of cinema, whereas Scorsese might be like, no, because they don't show it at a theater.
At a theater. Right. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Funny to me.
I honestly think it's someone's perspective rather than the piece of content that it is.
Yeah.
Because I would look at, I'd look at shows, anything that's on streaming, and anything that shows in a theater as cinema.
Yeah. That's how I see it.
But yeah. Interesting. I think
he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah. It's not like Ridley Scott.
Oh, God.
These fucking millennials.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Thank you very much. Fuck you. Go
I don't know. Ridley, like, from the start, he was talking to Bradley Cooper, and he was like, "Can I ask you something?" And Cooper was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Do you have your crew nailed down yet?"
Yeah.
And he was like, I do have specific people that I work with. And he was good, because that was the first thing I didn't fucking learn. He was like, you have to get a crew that you work with all the time because it creates the shorthand.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't want to have to go out there and direct the crew.
That's wild, right? And that's the reason why Ridley can pump out so much.
He's had the same crew since Gladiator.
Probably the reason why Eastwood can do so much.
That is true as well, because Eastwood does use the same people all the time.
Like, it's same people, same studio.
Yeah, he doesn't want to move from Warner, does he?
No. He's probably got the shorthand, I'm making a movie.
Yeah.
I'll need $30 million.
Yeah. And you just greenlight that.
You just sign that check there.
Eastwood, man. Like, when I think about it, Eastwood has made so many movies.
Yeah.
Because even that Firebird or whatever it is.
Yeah, Firefox. Yeah.
Firefox.
Yeah.
That's directed by Eastwood.
Yeah.
And that's like a full half sci-fi movie when you think about it.
Yeah, that's experimental planes going into the atmosphere, isn't it?
No, it's wild because it's like the Russians created this plane that's more technologically advanced than what's his face than the US planes.
Yep.
So they need to go into Russia and steal the fucking plane. It's wild. Yeah, they was doing that back in the day already.
What are they trying to say then?
Exactly.
What happened with the space race?
Champions.
And that's it. That's a wrap on all the news that we have this week.
That's it.
Thanks so much for watching the episode, listening to the episode. Like, subscribe to our channels. We're
comment,
on YouTube.
Give us feedback.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
What do you think about cinema? Like, what encompasses it for you? Is it shows and movies and, like, I don't know, novels or something like that? Is it music included? What is that thing for you that signifies cinema? Do you believe that it's individual, or do you believe that it should be basically gate-kept by those people that they themselves think and believe that they make cinema only?
Music for me is such a big part, eh?
Oh, yeah. man, I don't think that music gets a big enough rap.
Who did Dune? Hans Zimmer?
Hans Zimmer did it.
Hans Zimmer did it, yeah. Denis was talking about it on Fallon. How Hans Zimmer was like, I can't use orchestral instruments to make the sound for this, to make the music for this. He was like, Zimmer was in there with like fucking building instruments.
Yeah.
So he could make sounds.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Built the instruments or played instruments in an unconventional way.
Yeah.
Also took those instruments and then layered like thousands of layers of like different instruments to get a different sound.
And voices
are
in there as well. What's his face was saying, Denis was saying he listened to it and loved it and then went to sleep because he was saying there's something missing.
Yeah.
You know, when the Atreides when that ship lands, and you see the Atreides all out in front and everything, he was like, there's something missing there. He said he goes to bed and he's sleeping and he wakes up out of his sleep and he's like, bagpipes. That's what's missing.
Fucking hell.
And he was like, I told Hans, and Hans was fine with it. He actually allowed me to put the bagpipes in there.
That's so wild, eh? Like the whole sound is different, but then you got bagpipes.
I need those bagpipes, V.
Oh, man. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. We're out there. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're posting new content, clips every day / week, or even the year. Love yourself and love movies.
And because T-Dog's not here, wash your ass.